Hi there again, this is Manny with Classic Auto Repair. We are performing a topside inspection on this 1978 Chevy Corvette. It's been sitting for many years, decades, and I've been tasked with getting the car started and checking all the systems for reliability and safety, going through the mechanical inspection. So I'm going to go ahead and run down the list on the top side now that we have done 3 videos now. One was the initial starting of the vehicle. The second one was the undercarriage, and now I'm completing the topside inspection. So as I run down the list, I did the headlights, high, low beams, headlight doors open and close. Surprisingly, that system all works because a lot of times these vacuum pods will develop leaks in the diaphragms or the hoses or the valves, and that prevents these doors from opening and closing. They are functioning as they should. No issues there. Brake lights good, park lights, license plate light is good, dash lights, turn indicators are good, tested wiper motor is working, horn is working, seat belts good. Tire wear fault, again, as I indicated on the undercarriage, the tire date code is October 2011. Low pressure on all 4 tires at 20 pounds, aired them up to 35 before starting my first initial road test that I completed just a few minutes ago. Belts could be replaced, they've been on there a while. Hoses, with the exception of the radiator hoses, the heater hoses I would replace. Looks like the radiator has been replaced, but unfortunately it does have a leak, as we showed you before. I checked the radiator hose connections and they are not leaking, so I believe the radiator core has a leak in it. All right, running down the list. Let's see, brake fluid. We talked about the fault in the brakes on a previous video. Front right brake caliper is leaking and master cylinder. Antifreeze, I'm going to check it when it's cooled off, see what the condition is inside of the cooling system. Right now it appears to have green antifreeze because it was dripping on me when I was under the car. Power steering has a fault, no fluid in the pump, and it has several leaks. Transmission fluid fault, added 4 quarts of fluid, restored shifting, and it has a nice positive shift right now, no indications of slip. I would recommend a tune-up and oil change, which I will replace the PCV valve. I will replace the spark plugs, the air filter, fuel filter. The battery came with the car. New customer provided a new battery. I installed it. I also installed a quick disconnect. Highly recommended on older vehicles, especially ones that are not going to be driven every day. And the quick disconnect is a simple lever that I install onto the battery posts, and just simply pushing this down energizes the electrical system. Everything has electrical in the car, so it can be started. Flip it up and everything is killed, so there's no power going to any device in the car. And when you're got these old cars that are sitting in the garage, to prevent potential fires and situations of electrical drainage of the battery, it's best to have a quick disconnect on there. So I put them on there when I'm working on the car. If you want me to keep it on there, I will, and we'll go from there. Okay, so running down the list, brake pad wear, I'm going to go ahead and put some brake pads on the front. No run condition. Of course, we went through the run start procedures. I checked the blower switch. It's intermittent on the blower. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so the blower motor comes on intermittently, which means there's a problem probably with the switch itself. See, right now I have nothing. Make sure I got everything connected. There we go. Okay, now we hear it. So I've got air blowing out of it. I got low, medium, and high. Can turn it off and on with the switch. If I flip this over and try to change things, I don't get any air conditioning. I should hear the clutch engage on the compressor, and it is not engaging. So that means the air conditioning system is not operating, so we have no cold air in the vehicle, and that can be multiple items that need to be repaired or diagnosed and fixed. It can be very expensive, and I only do a limited amount of OEM air conditioning repair here at our shop. Normally we replace the whole system with new systems, brand new, so that we can offer warranties, and we know that they're going to be stable for 10 to 15 years without any work on them. These old systems, you'll repair them and then they'll fail within a day or two with some other component that is no longer functioning. So we tend to stay away from them because the reliability is very low on the 40, 30-year-old air conditioning systems, and you have to replace the Freon that's in these systems with newer Freon, which is what is used in new cars that's available. The old stuff, environmentally not friendly, so they started to discontinue, and now very expensive to find original Freon gas for 1978 vehicles. All right, so moving through here, I also found during the road test the tachometer does not work and the speedometer is intermittent. It would work a little bit and then stop working. So two gauges there that are not functioning correctly. Over here on this side, the clock doesn't work. Temperature is good, still remain relatively cool considering such a hot day today. Fuel gauge seems to be working. Oil pressure gauge is good, and so is your voltage gauge. So the gauges here, that's what's working on them. Turn signal, when I went to test this, turn signal is floppy and loose. It's not supposed to twist like this. Something's broken in the switch lever. I can add it to the repair list, but I'm not sure exactly what component is broken inside of here that's making this thing loose like this. The wiper switch is also loose, but does function, but it is loose in the dash. We're missing a visor on the passenger side. The cardboard, everything is missing on the passenger side. Driver's side is still there, a little floppy, but in position. Horn works. Steering is relatively tight. Normally these cars are very, the steering and the tilt, because of the telescopic, is very loose. And I've had to rebuild a couple of these in the 77, 78 models, but this one is tight and feels real good. Radio comes on, kind of crackly, but it does function. Checked the windows, both windows work, no problem. Gear shift is working as it should. Emergency brake does engage and stop the car. I used that during the road test. Let's see what else I have on my notes here. I think we went over everything on that list. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the quick disconnect on the battery so I don't have to worry about anything in there. That's good. And those are the items in the interior that are immediately been checked and need work. I would go ahead and put some wiper blades on it so you don't scratch the glass. This is kind of hard rubber. Fix that. As I said, I would go ahead and do all the tuning. I'd check your vacuum advance. I would replace the distributor cap, spark plugs, rotor that's inside, the coil, which is on top here. This is all old components that need to be upgraded to new parts. Carburetor seems to be working and I don't see significant leaking out of it. But time will tell because it's been setting for a very long time. More than likely the gaskets are dried up and the carburetor will be leaking a lot of excessive fuel, which is a fire hazard, and we would want to send that off to Florida, have it rebuilt, sent back to us, and then installed back on the car, and then you have a 1-year warranty on the carburetor that it's going to function the way that it should as original. All right, so let's see, what else do we have? As I indicated, I'm going to have to check this radiator, see if I can find out where that coolant leak is. Fan clutch is moving all relatively too freely to me. It shouldn't be spinning that fast. It should be much slower. We may need to put a new clutch on there. Looks like the thermostat has been replaced, the thermostat housing. That is not original. Water pump looks original, but is functioning right now, but that could be a source of a failure in the future. I'll keep an eye on it to see if it leaks at the shaft bearing seal. but right now it's not leaking. I did recommend replacing these valve cover gaskets so that we can prevent that oil from leaking onto the exhaust manifolds and causing all that smoking that we saw at startup. Let's see here. Air conditioning was not coming on. This is your clutch and this is your compressor. More than likely there's no gas in the system. Basically we just take this port valve off, and then there's a little Schrader valve. There's no gas in it. You can barely hear any fizz. There's no Freon in the system, which is bad because that means moisture is inside of there. If gas is in there, then you don't get as much contamination, but when they're empty, everything inside dries out. You get moisture in there, and then that causes all kinds of contamination issues in a very precision type system. You cannot have contamination in there, and that's where the problems tend to occur. So normally we take out this whole box, take out all these parts, and we put a whole new air conditioning system in there with all brand new parts. Expensive, but something to maybe put on the radar. If simply discharging the system, putting a new filter, a new orifice tube, and charging it with adapting it to 134A gas, and then charging it up, see if it'll hold. First of all, we'll check negative pressure to see if it holds pressure over 1 day. If it does, then I know there's no leaks in the system, and I can put Freon back in it and see if the compressor will engage, and see if we can get cold air to pump. That would be the most affordable process to get cold air in the car. If it doesn't work, then we can reevaluate and find out what options you have available there. All right, so alternator is charging, so don't have to do anything there. We talked about the brake booster, that potentially it could fail because the master cylinder is leaking right now into the booster. Right now it's not causing a problem for the booster, but you don't know what damage has occurred over the years, so we want to check that out as well. Vacuum hoses, there's a ton of vacuum hoses. So far, I'll have to check for the heater and the different ducts to see if the defroster works, because all these air conditioning hoses, if they have cracks or are, in this example, not plugged to anything, that can be a source of a problem there. So a lot of times guys will disconnect these because they're having a component part that no longer works. For example, this is your controller for your cruise control, and they may have disconnected that just because it was leaking and didn't want to affect the rest of the vacuum system. A lot of kind of work occurs over these cars over the decades, and my job is to go back and look at the work and see if it's safety and mechanically going to be a sound repair for you guys. All right, so as of right now, that's where we're looking on the top side of the vehicle. And I will get back to you with a written estimate and what my suggestion is for the approach on getting this back on the road and what it needs to get there. All right.